Good evening, everybody. I'm David Thomas. This is Bo Gill. Welcome to Bedford County Live. Hopefully tonight we're going to have a much better resolution on our picture. We have changed internet carriers. We moved from Spectrum and went to United Communications. It's got fiber optic. So hopefully out there you will be able to see and hear us much better. And we might even have to watch out and put on some makeup, Bo.
The green room's coming. We're going from go-kart speed to rocket speed tonight. Yeah. So we're glad to have the fiber in.
Hey, we wasn't even at go-kart speed. We were in reverse with Spectrum. It's pitiful.
It was, but we apologize for those times you had to just go through with that blurry screen. But tonight you ought to be pleased, or it might not be too pleasing because we're a little bit more, I guess, more revealing and clearer.
Yeah, that could be
a bad thing, but glad everybody's here.
But I do want to give a shout out to United Communications. I actually got to deal with human beings and not some recording or robot on the phone like you do with Spectrum.
So they exist.
They actually answered the phone, took our order. They followed us all the way through. A nice young man came and looked at the place and said, yeah, we're going to put it right here. This is it. And they actually started to work before the hand had the line to the building. And then on Friday, this past Friday, they said, we'll be there at 9 o'clock. Guess what? They showed up at 9 o'clock.
Outstanding.
And they got it done. Wanted to make sure everything was okay, but the best customer service I've ever seen from a communications company like that.
Usually you don't get that. No. You really don't. And you should with the competition they have, but that's what differentiates, the better from the best.
Absolutely. Let's everybody give us a shout out. If you're out there watching tonight, let us know. And we're going to have a lot of chatter going on tonight, hopefully.
Oh, yes.
But before we get in to our topics tonight, Bo, I want to stop just for a minute and give our sponsors a shout out. We're going to take this little break for about a minute, and we'll be right back, and we'll jump right in.
Let's do it.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
All right. Thank you from our sponsors, Dennis Young Insurance and Lowry Jewelers out on North Main Street. Two locally owned businesses, been around a long time, and we just want to say thanks to those guys.
Absolutely. If you need your insurance, you call Dennis Young Insurance. If you need your diamonds, you call Billy Lowry.
Diamonds, gold, silver, and gemstones.
And
on sale. On sale right now.
On sale, that's right. Yeah. Go check them out.
But, Bo, it's been kind of a rough week for Shelbyville and Bedford County.
Yes.
It all started last Tuesday night at the Shelbyville Central High School district tournament. They were playing in Lincoln County. And I'm sure everybody has heard by now, but the starting point guard, senior Kyler Trice, at halftime had a health issue, and he basically passed out and was revived and then later transported to Vanderbilt Hospital, where he has been since then. And it was a scary situation, but those folks down there at Lincoln County did a fantastic job. There were nurses present, and they were able to help. And they got in there. They got 911 called, got him transported. And from what I understand, he's doing very well now.
From what I understand, the teams might have been great on the court, but that night. It was the fans and the parents that were the MVP there, because they just took over and got this man the help he needed in the time that he needed. And it's we are glad to announce with there's some good news of this, that he's going to be okay. He's recovering. We don't know if he's home yet, but it's just great to know that we do have citizens and people there that can take care of you right there. And we're thinking of him and his family. in this time. We know that there might be a recovery, but he's a young, strong man. I guarantee you he'll be on his feet.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
we're praying for him.
I
for
bet
sure.
you he wants to play baseball.
Oh, he's dying.
He's a baseball player. So
that's what I
all
hear.
right, but then we had a bad wreck Friday night where we had a fatality, which was terrible. And Shelbyville and the Bedford County area has been lucky over the last few years. We hadn't had a lot of those, but unfortunately this occurred. And I guess, Bo, as traffic continues to grow in this area, the 4-lane going toward Tullahoma, it's you got a higher rate of speed. You got 231 north and some people that always are trying to pull out, and it's a tough situation. And I just encourage everybody to kind of take it slow when you come up on these turnoffs or people are trying to get on. You got to watch.
Yeah, and you've got to watch, and in some cases it just happens. This was kind of a surprised area on 41A. It shouldn't have happened. It's been 2-lane for years. That I'm sure there are so many questions why, but it has happened, and I think it gives us all a chance to learn that sometimes we need to slow down and maybe pay more attention to what's going on. And even if they were going up the wrong way of the lane, just stop if you don't know where you're at. I think we can all learn from something like this, and we just, again, for this family and these families that are affected and those that are still injured, and we just pray for them, and we thank God that not everybody was lost in that, and we thank the responders that have to get on it. I was monitoring the scanner at that time, and wow, you talk about another all-star team. These people at the 911, they get it out. You got the ambulance there, the sheriff, the state troopers. I mean, it's something what they have to see in the communication that goes on when those accidents happen, and the professionalism and the way they handle these tragedies.
Right.
So, wow, hats off to y'all. And we just
we're glad that it worked out. Like everybody did, even though it was terrible.
Yes,
it could have been a lot worse.
Yes. And we're with the families, and we just,
well, there's another issue. We lost an icon.
We did. We lost
a treasure of Shelbyville and Bedford County, Mr. Frank Nichols, former owner of Handy Dandy Market. He was a jewel, and he's going to be sadly missed.
He will be very sad, very missed. Now, very, very much missed. Now, many of you that are recently came to Shelbyville might not know about Handy Dandy. You might see the building there still, and the signage is still there, and wonder what Handy Dandy is or was. Well, let me tell you, Handy Dandy was a staple of Shelbyville for ever since, I guess, the late 50s and 60s. I'm not sure of the dates, but I know that they were in a store across the road, and then they built this one, and they were there, and they had everything you needed. This was before the Walmart days. Frank and Frank was a man that people would come in down on their luck sometime, and Frank might, put them to work or do something, earn a little money, or you know what, he might just feel his heart to give, and he would give his shirt off his back for people. He wasn't a man of many words, but when he talked, you listened, and he had great stories. I was really blessed to get to know him over the last several years after the store, because, they were at the store all the time. They are two people, Alice and Frank, that worked their butts off, and they earned every bit, and it's something to learn for that. But we hate to lose an icon, a Shelbyville icon like Frank Nichols. I can see him right now, maybe with the glasses up, cutting the key, or looking at a nut to help someone. I talked to a guy tonight at the visitation, James Fair. He said he taught me how to, do plumbing. He would show me. Not only would he sell it to you, he would teach you how to attach everything. So
I just wonder how many minutes he sold.
I'm sure he probably holds the world record in Minnesota.
That's one thing. If you wanted to get bait, he was the place to get bait in Shelbyville.
And then he had this, for all you deer hunters out there, he had this little sign against the door where you could look. It had like all the dates, but on the back, he wrote every deer that came in, who killed it, and the biggest one. He had pictures there. Like that was the center. That was like the center where you got all the hunting information. Yeah. It was where you went before you went fishing to get your crickets or minnows. It was where you got beanie weenies, it was exactly. The whole deal.
Yeah.
Everything was there. Ammo, guns. I mean, he sold it all. It was the place, and we're going to sadly miss Mr. Frank Nichols. And we just
here you go, John Hart and Janice Dingler. I grew up in that store. My dad worked at Tally Body Shop for years. And John Hart, it was Lowe's, Walmart, Kroger, Bass Pro under one roof. You got that
all
right.
in one.
Yeah. And then Emily, he would go to people's homes to help them fix it too. Yeah.
Yes,
I know he would do anything, but the bottom line is we're going to miss him. Even though he hadn't been at that store, just knowing that he's not with us anymore is kind of sad. Right. And there's not many guys left around like him.
Not in that the greatest generation type to folks, but Alice is still around and kicking, and she's just about the same as the last day she closed. She's just as sharp as she can be.
Yeah.
But we're just really thinking about them, their family, all those connected. And what a time of really a celebration of his life is the way I like to look at it. It's a celebration of Frank Nichols, and we're,
it's a tragedy, but we know he's in a better place.
That's right.
But we also we're having a little facelift going on up at the square. Pope's Cafe has started. Now I don't know if they're doing that, or do you know the details of that?
I don't know the details, but I would assume it's the owner of the building. Or the owner of the building will be doing that. That's what I assume. And hey, that's what we want, right? I mean, that's our square there, and you've seen improvement on one side. You've seen you've just seen overall improvement to what we've had in the last 5 years, especially. And what does improvement and success do to one building? It creates other owners wanting to do the exact same thing. So that's maintained. I've seen so many squares. I know the one in Petersburg, and it's starting to come back up, but it's fallen because of disrepair, because people didn't care. And I'm glad to know that people care and want to preserve the integrity and leave it the same way it looks, but with the kind of an update lift. It's beautiful. So but Pope's is still open.
They're open during this whole time. And it takes a lot of money to redo stuff like that. That's what people look and say, well, why don't you do this or do that or do this? Well, it's money.
It's money. And especially older structures. It's and nothing squared up right. They don't build it like that anymore. But it's so great to see. Now they've got a whole scaffold built up the front. So it looks like they're going to probably do some masonry repair, maybe windows, painting. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. And I'm just excited that the owners have taken it upon themselves to improve the look of Shelbyville City, Bedford County Square, Shelbyville Square for everybody to enjoy. Because I enjoy some Popes.
Oh, yeah. Also, Bo, today I got some information and put it together. The top 10 employers in Bedford County, which this came from a couple or three different sources. And I wanted to just put this up for people to see. I was wondering, who are our top 10 employers, who has the most people working in their businesses. And I was shocked when I saw it. I'm going to put this up for everybody to see now. And it might shock you a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Our number one, this is our top 10 employers in Bedford County. Our number one employer in Bedford County is Bedford County government with 1,524 employees.
Wow.
Now that, my friends, is a lot of government employees here in Bedford County. 1,524. Then we have Tyson Foods. I figured Tyson Foods would probably be number one.
If I would have guessed, that would have been me.
But it's 1,026. Newell Brands, 850. Morelli North America, 600. Walmart Distribution, 548. Hiley Morelli, which is the other division of Morelli.
Old Calsonic.
400. Albea, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Albea, 278. And then the city of Shelbyville government has 236 employees. So they're number 8. Then you have Jostens with 230, Century Mold with 153. Now, Bo, this I'm going to leave this up just for a little bit for people to look at, but this really shocked me that our city and county governments comprise 2 spots in the top 10. And,
it seems it's like when looking at this, like, where's National Pen? Where's Sanford? It's like, where are
they're gone.
And they're gone. And so are we at the point where the government takes up as a top employer in our county? Well, apparently so. And I just don't think that's the way that I know that's the way that government wasn't intended to be. It's kind of like gobbling up your own. It's sad to see that private industry is not at the top of that list. If you would have told me, I would have not guessed the Bedford County. Now, I guess this has the sheriff's department. This is everybody.
This is everybody that's employed by the county.
Is that saying that I mean, I guess we need that many employees, or do we need
Well,
more industry with better employers?
Well, the situation is the government is what it is. Yeah, the school is included in this.
Okay.
That's part of it because they're considered county employees and they're under the county budget.
Right.
So we have that many county employees, but that's a testament to our lack of industry.
I think that's what it tells us most about, instead of the negative thing, which it is kind of not the I guess the conservative way of thinking that the government is the number one employer. But I guess in this instance, so be it, because we don't have any other anything.
Now you can go back. Uniroyal,
right.
they're gone.
Right.
Empire,
right,
they're gone.
Right.
You look at some of those Stanley Tools, they're gone. Eaton, they're gone.
Right.
We lost all of those over time to other countries, and this is a pattern nationwide. Okay, right. It's not just Bedford County.
That's right.
It's a nationwide issue that's taking place. So you got to look when your government is the number one employer, and this is probably average the entire
across
country.
The board, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many Amazon. But I guarantee you our federal government probably employs more than Amazon does.
Yeah.
And there's no way for us to sustain that lack of productivity from our workforce to where your taxes are going to go up so high because everybody's working for the government.
Every one of those numbers under the Bedford County government is coming from our pocket.
Right. It comes out of our pocket. Now, except the state pays a big portion, 77% of the county government, but that still comes out of taxpayers.
We're getting a little bit. Yeah. They're getting a piece of our.
Oh yeah, it's so, like us. We're paying for it.
Not that we don't. Not that we don't need all these services. They're there, and I hope that they.
Okay, we had Ginger Defoe comes in and says Vanderbilt Bedford has 267 employees. Okay. Then the Shelbyville Bedford partnership needs to update their website. This is where this information came from, except they left out government. So they do need to update that and get Vanderbilt Bedford in there.
It's good to have knowledge, but it's also great to have up-to-date knowledge.
And that's healthcare. Okay,
right.
That's not factories. That's not productivity. That's a service. Okay,
right.
You look at Tyson Foods. All right, they're producing food. Newell Brands. Aren't they plastics?
I think so.
I think so. Morelli, North American Car Parts, Walmart Distribution, self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. Holly Morelli, again, car parts. What does Albay? Is that the Old American tubes, can?
Yeah,
the Old American can. Okay. And the city of Shelbyville government service. All right, Johnston's, they have their whole range of products.
I would actually thought that the Shelbyville might be a little higher. I don't know. I guess. I know we have 50 or 49 police officers.
Yeah,
so
but
I guess that's the largest. That and the public works are probably the largest.
Yeah, Century Mold, which they do molding, cast molds and so forth. So you got some productivity there, but it's so low compared to what it used to be.
I know we had Muskrat. We were the pencil capital of the world. I guess we still are. I mean, we claim it, and it's and I know times change, but Shelbyville is used to
pencil capital of the world, Bo. That's China now.
I know it. That's
sad.
It's sad, but we still we're still unofficially the pencil capital of the world. But we don't have that anymore. And that was not too long ago that these industries went away. But the number, it is what it is.
Emily's talking about working for National Pen for 16 years, and they started moving the call center to Jamaica. That is so bad.
It's awful. It's awful. And they gave us a chance to go to Jamaica, and we turned it down.
I know. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, that's just so everybody will know where we're at. And this is a nationwide issue.
It is. It's we're not picking on anybody. It's just the way the numbers are what they are.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully we can get more industry in here. And I think the key to that is getting this school built, the TCAT school, to get some career building going on. I think you've got a lot of people that think when they go to college and get that college degree, they're going to be able to get a job. Well, you're going to have to go out of town to get a job. You're going to have to move away.
Yes.
Those people that want to stay here, they've got to hit a trade, or they have to have some skills, and that school is going to help. And hopefully that will alleviate some of our workforce.
Maybe
issues.
that brings some of the innovators in that'll take a chance on industry here and lead to a new pencil capital of the world, or whatever.
Connie, Bedford County. We were just talking about the school system, county roads, all that.
Yes,
1,500 something. That's that.
But I guarantee you that they probably still need teachers and stuff. I mean,
they need teachers now. They need school bus drivers. They still need.
Yeah,
I'm sure Mark Clinton needs road people.
Probably so.
And I'm sure everybody needs something. So there's still a big need.
Yeah.
But
I
hopefully,
think it inspires us to have more private industry to beat that number. I would love to see that number beat, and I'm sure the county would too. I mean, we want industry here.
Yeah,
but
Cooper Steel was on that list right before the county school, so they're right in that 10 or 11 spot, in that 11, 12 spot.
I was wondering.
They've got about 110 employees, I think it is. So that's a skill. If a kid's wanting to get out and going into welding, man, they'll put them through school and then start them a job that's making more than a college educated person will make. So it's amazing how these skills are paying so much more right now.
They really are.
All right, but let's change gears now. Let's talk about the Shelbyville Planning Commission workshop that y'all had on Friday. Thursday. Yes. It was at noon. A lot of people didn't get to go to that. We posted some of the videos that came from that, and we had some nice presentations. The police chief, our fire chief, our public works director all got up, and we're talking about our infrastructure the way it stands today. Bo, what did you take away from that meeting after you heard from those three guys?
Well, I heard a lot of good I heard a lot of talk, and I heard a lot of needs that we need, and I heard also I learned how far behind we really are. If all development that's been approved, was actually, being built, and if it was developed at the moment. I did also learn that the heads of these it was Jason Reese of Shovel Power. We had John Freeman of he does the water. He knows wherever water line. He knows it all. He is your guy. And then you had the police. What I learned is those guys are very smart and they're very professional in what they do here. But when they didn't hold back any punches. When they said, that we're behind, then we're behind. I believe John Freeman said he's behind so many employees just currently at the moment. So what I learned is that we're behind, and that there needs to be some action taken. Okay. There's been a lot of talk. There was even talk in history about how we've done this before and nothing happened. I think it's time to start making it happen, because this is coming.
Let's go back and look at 60 years ago. I think people pretty much had established that Shelbyville, the population is going to be in that 10 to 15,000 range. We were at about 12,000 in the mid 60s, 12,000. And we've gradually grew. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just exploded.
Yes.
Because people started getting out of the cities and coming into the more rural areas because of the cost of living. And we're getting all these New York people that are moving away from New York and California. They're going to Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and we're a natural spot because up until 2 or 3 years ago, our land was cheap. Now it's through the roof.
Yeah.
But so my question is, Bo, taking the information from those three guys, hearing the desperate need that we're behind right now, the way it stands today, well, let's throw more rooftops on top of them. What are they going to do?
Well, that's where that's where we are at this very moment, David. And what we're going to do is up in the air. But I know that what we need to do is work on getting these numbers that we're lagging behind up to, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. One thing that we talked about was the possible development that's coming on the north side of town on the swing property might be completed in 10 to 15 years. And a question that was brought up was about the new 437 bypass, and this is not in the 10-year plan.
But they can't get the property.
They can't get the property, and it's not in the 10-year plan. Now, what I asked a question is if there has been any political pressure put to where they could speed that up. And actually there has been. I know Mayor Carroll has wrote to them to request what's going on. But what it is now, I think the citizens need to tell them.
Well, I think
that we need to say because they don't know about these new developments coming through, and they need to know about them.
When these new developments started coming through, we had the city. Well, they just annexed the property, but the discussion began taking place. I put a poll up about slowing down this type of development until we get a little bit ahead on our infrastructure. And that's just not going to happen overnight. You just talked about it.
Right.
When you need more public works workers and can't get them,
right,
that's a problem.
And you can't get them. And they're trying. It's because people won't work like they used to. But when I don't know if State Rep Marsh or Senator Reeves are aware of the looming issues, the property that's been annexed and the possible developments going on.
They're
so
aware.
I would take, well, if they're not, then they need to be more
They
aware.
are.
And I think that the citizens need to be on that, because that can get pushed politically and it can't get pushed any other way. And that was one of the questions. And I think that they have, I can't speak for the county mayor if he sent a letter, requesting the speed up. I know that there are several issues in the way of the eminent domain, the acquiring property throughout the area. But I know that, eminent domain, if those that don't know, that's just basically
the government takes the land.
So they can do that. I know the only thing they can get is burials in certain cemeteries.
But they have to pay market value for it.
They have to, and they give you the money, and then you can contest the value that they give you at a later date, but you have that money. But that's how that works. But anyway, that is something that is it not even in the 10-year plan. And so we're wanting to start all these houses, and we're already experiencing a high volume of traffic on the 41A corridor toward Unionville Highway, and then off Shaw Road up to Nashville Dirt Road, Peacock Lane. Everybody's going north, so that bypass would be wonderful. You've got emergency traffic flying down Jennings Lane. Not to mention the shoulders there are pretty steep. I mean, it can get pretty dangerous. I would hate to see an accident on that, but I mean, I think that we're just asking for it if we do not responsibly take a common sense approach to address the reality of the lack of our infrastructure.
I would say, you got it. The commission, the planning commission, obviously had that workshop to gather information.
Right.
And the number one thing is the property on 41, the swing property
currently
with that large development coming, possibly 745 units.
That's what
over the
was in the
course of
original
time.
pattern
Okay.
book.
Let's just say, do you think the developer is going to drag his feet if he can sell all that?
Oh no, the developer will sell whenever he
Exactly.
can sell, and he will build when he can build, and rightfully so.
So what's the answer that the planning commission can have to slow this down, Bo, and to make sure that we can handle as they progress?
It's a common sense approach, and we rely heavily on the planning commission with our elected officials and our department heads to give us the right information. That say, whoa, we're not prepared for all this growth if this could happen now, or whoa.
Okay, let's just say, all right, you heard those three.
Yes.
Come out and say, we need this. We need this. Police, fire, public works. We need this. We're behind now. You got that information. So what do you do now?
I believe you got a case I believe you got something to talk about.
All right. So you talk about it.
Yep.
Commission does. Planning commission does. But they check off all the boxes according to qualifying to develop this. What does the planning commission do at that point?
Well, if what they're supposed to do is discuss it, and then if there's some things they don't like, they can voice their opinions. But if everything's checked on the rules that we set, we can't change the rules in the middle of the game. We might vote it through, and then once it gets voted through, it goes to the council, who has the ultimate decision. Now, a lot of times they do go by our decision most of the time, but they don't have to. They're not legally bound to the planning commission's ruling. If so, then why do they even rule on it?
They're bound to their constituents. Yeah.
So it goes in there. We've set forth rules on the planning commission, and let's say it meets this, and this. Y'all
automatically gonna say yes.
No, not always.
If it meets all of them?
If it meets all of them, there might be conditional requirements. There's not an automatic yes on there.
Okay.
It can be turned down for, you've got issues of not having enough infrastructure, and you've got, you just kind of you've got that. And if you can,
I want to stop right now, and I want to play a video.
Okay.
This is from that meeting. Your chairman, Warren Landers, made a statement to start this meeting out, and I want to play that and let everybody see his take on this decision making that the commission has or does not have.
Yes.
It's going to last about 3 minutes, so y'all bear with us. Watch this video, and we'll be right back to comment on it and digest this a little bit.
lot of times the citizens and a lot of people come up and ask me about things. Why did we approve this? Why would you allow this to happen? Why would you allow this to ruin my neighborhood? And we get this, and I think a lot of people have there's just a misunderstanding of what we as a planning commission do. Planning commission is an appointed board. We're appointed by the mayor. And we're more like a panel of judges. We have to look at the law, we have to look at the plan, and to see if it fits. If a development comes in, as Wally could tell you, there's numerous things that has to be done. These developers have to do. There's a checklist. The police department, fire department, public works, they go down, Shovel Power and Water, and they all have to sign off that there is no ramifications. So if a development comes before us, and even I myself not personally think it's not that good, but if everybody signs off on it, Shovel Power, everybody has got this checklist and it meets the criteria and it meets our rules and it meets all laws, we have no choice but to approve it. And we're told we have to approve it. And to give you an example of what this could cost the city of Sheffield if we did it. Let's just say several of us had some friends and families lived in there and we just tried to help these old folks out and we turned something down. The first thing that's going to happen, that developer is going to turn around and sue the city of Shelbyville because we did not follow our own rules. And you know what? They would win. We had a situation like that several years ago, and I think it cost the city, what, a couple $1 million? So we have to do that. Now, on the other hand, the council, they're elected, and they're supposed to listen to the taxpayers, and they're supposed to. So what their job is they're supposed, is it good for Shelbyville? Is it good or is it not? They decide that. But us, again, and we've got 2 big developments before us right now. And I hope people understand that when we vote on that, if that comes back, and I think the big one right now is a traffic study. If that traffic study comes back and says that it's okay, we've already got a letter from the Shovel Power and Water that I think the bond's been paid, the fee that they were talking about. If all that comes back, we're going to have no choice but to approve it.
Okay, Bo. He makes the case that y'all have no choice if they check off all the boxes. So my question is, why have a planning commission?
It seems that it would be just a rubber stamp commission in that sense, if that were the case. What he's saying is coming from the Tennessee law is saying that if we set our own rules, and these are our rules, and a guy comes and wants to build a subdivision and he meets all of these rules, then we have no choice but to pass. But a lot of times our rules are outdated. And if they're outdated, you might be up to a lawsuit, but what's better for Shelbyville?
But what if the police department says they can't handle more people and the fire department says they can't handle more people and public works says we're so far behind now, that gets you out there. You're not checking all them boxes at that point.
Then you got something to hang your hat on. It's not, if that was the case, then why do we even meet? I don't
exactly. That is a good
but
point.
I do know what he is saying, because we go to training and they tell us these things. If you set these rules and they go by it, then that might be what you have to do. And you know what? He might be right, but it doesn't still. You can vote, you can do what you want to do. You might get sued. But then again, it's in the city council's hand. What it really is as a planning commission should have a good discussion, and they should be able to set their rules to be able to rule out things that Shelbyville, if they don't want, and in areas they don't want it. And if that's the way the rules are, then we always should keep our rules up to date, because say a developer comes in to build a subdivision, and he's given the rule book. Well, you can't change the rules in the middle of the game. And if we say that's what requires, then then the planning commission say, okay, it passes. Then the city council can say, look, I represent my constituents, And at this time, the rules may say this, but they need to be updated because our city is experiencing unprecedented growth and changes, and we cannot even think about supporting something like that because of our infrastructure, and that's where it needs to go.
All right, I got a question for you. It's my understanding that Cannon Boulevard area, there's no criteria set for R4 in that corridor.
Yes,
But on 41A there is.
On 41A north. Yeah, on the comprehensive plan.
All right. So how old is this plan? Somebody told me that some of this dates back to the 90s.
Now we just had a new comprehensive plan. I haven't seen I saw some of the verbiage on that, but I wasn't sure if that was from the 2022. We just did a future land use comprehensive plan. Now in that area, there are a couple R4 high development areas that are probably older.
Question for you. Is this plan contingent on upscaling the infrastructure before?
The comprehensive plan? Yeah, because it is a
okay.
It has that
okay.
in,
all right.
in
there's some people that's asking. It sounds like the rules need to be changed. Start planning infrastructure first.
Yes.
Are the rules reviewed regularly? That's a good question.
The rules should be reviewed in a good every few years, at least 5 years, but sometimes they're not reviewed until something
drastic happens,
or they get wind that something's coming down the pike. It should be reviewed every year probably, and just because there's a lot of things that need to be updated. There's we did a name updating here recently, and it seems that there's a lot that's wrong. Or well, there's a lot of things not wrong, but they're not up to date in the document that need to be addressed. Now, the comprehensive map we just finished one, and I think it was a couple years ago. It took us like 2 or 3 years to get it going.
Well, in that comprehensive plan, though, you weren't expecting 750 homes thrown into 120 acres either.
No, and you can't because you're kind of guessing. Because you're guessing where the development will come.
But you're assuming that R1 is coming into that spot.
That's right.
Okay, well, then let them do R1.
If I don't know, I hadn't seen it. Is that what it has there?
I don't know. Everything around it's R1.
If it's if you didn't also the comprehensive future land use map is not the gospel. It's not like the zoning map. Like it's kind of like we project it this way, but things can change.
Okay, but when y'all do that, if it doesn't hold any weight, then what's the point of doing it? Like you say, you're saying R1, no, but then you allow R4.
But sometimes factors, developers or say a guy came with a mall, he wanted to put somewhere around.
Right.
Things change.
Okay,
that's why we're not.
How can you go by a set of standards? Why can't you look at it instant by instant? Let me throw something at you, Bo. This is just a thought. Just came to me. What if this developer was given the plan to do this? All right, start in phase 1, building this section until we get our infrastructure caught up. And when we get there, let's go to phase 2, divide it up.
And I think that's a great idea, and it's something that should be looked at because I don't think it's responsible to allow development to come through. It's not responsible for the existing citizens to put such a strain on an already lacking infrastructure. I just think that there are some kind of conditions that you could put in that we have to meet so and so level of infrastructure or road capacity in order.
I think road capacity is the biggest thing.
And I do, and there are ways that you can address it. It's not just clear cut and just that's the way it is.
Okay, Chuck is talking about the Rock Crusher lawsuit when the Planning Commission and the City Council tried to change the rules midstream.
Yeah,
it cost the city $10 million. No, it was $2 million. It's what they settled for, Chuck.
They asked for 10.
They asked for 10 to start with, but they got 2. They settled out of court. The way I understand.
Any game, baseball, football, you can't change the rules in the middle of the game. That's it. And if you do, then whoever's got the open application, they still go by the old rules.
Okay,
and you can't just change.
But if it's not good for the city of Shelbyville, what recourse do you have to say no?
Well, I think your recourse is your elected officials. They are the ones that get this, that are, we advise the elected officials, the board, and they can go from there. We should look at it diligently. We should do all of our due diligence on all applications that come before us. We shouldn't just say yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. You need to look at it, and the department heads, they look at it. We rely on those government on those department heads to give us the right information. Say, look, we can't handle it, or it's good to go.
Yeah.
And if we don't hear nothing, then we have to kind of guess. I mean, when you don't have,
I think if everybody though could sit down and from that
that was
workshop
great.
that you had and just look at the information that was compiled. One statement was brought up about we're basing a lot of our infrastructure plans based on our current population, which is skewed
Yes.
by undocumented.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
And we say we have 25,000 living in the city, but I've talked to some people that would know that say we've probably got 33,000 because these other people aren't counted in the census.
And that was the sentiment given that day when we met, that that they are skewed, that those numbers are low. And I think that's just reality here. And there's no way to know, and there's no way to get a more diligent count. I don't know. I mean, people hide, people are going to lie. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm sure there's a factor of mistake there, but we need to know we're under the main thing is what Warren said, Chairman Landers said, he's right on. I mean, legally, he's right on. A lawsuit could happen if we set rules and we don't go by it. He's right on. But there are some factors that can come in conditions wise, and there's other things that can be set forth. But again, he did say, and it goes to the council, it's out of our hands.
But part of those rules is the city of Shelbyville Police Department says we can handle it.
That's right.
The fire department says we can handle it. The public works says we can handle it. And then our water and power company says we can handle it.
That's right.
Okay. If they say we're behind right now, the answer to me is you can't do it.
Yeah, they should tell us we're behind on every application and that we can't do it. But if we don't have that information, then we don't know.
Well, you got it. You got it.
Well, we
just
do.
like in that workshop,
Yeah.
it came out. I'd play these tapes and say, "Look, guys, we don't." I mean, public
behind.
works is like 15 employees behind right now.
It's a question to be asked.
And then you've got police department that needs to have another police department office building, a precinct built, and your fire hall probably is going to need within the next 5 years a couple of fire stations built based on the real population.
It's the discussion that needs to happen, and
So,
it's tough. It's tough sometimes. It's a thankless job.
Do we have the tax revenue to pull all this off? That's the next question.
And I don't have the answer to that question.
I can tell you that answer. No.
Well, you know what? If we're getting this population boom,
you got 3 families living in one house.
Yeah.
And one tax is being paid on that house for 3 families, then you're behind the 8 ball already.
So what's our answer?
That's happening all over.
Do we raise taxes? I mean,
no, you can't raise it.
So
anymore.
I know. I mean, we're already high, but I agree. There's a lot of people gaming the system, and that's a big problem. And it has to do. That goes back to the root of family issues and having a little pride and a little want to succeed. And here in Shelbyville, we have a lot of that.
Yeah.
The other end that really don't care.
Don't happen.
And that's part of it. But what I see overall, to summarize what we're talking about, is that Shelbyville is growing. We understand. We all know that it's growing.
Our population
is
Yeah,
growing. Right. And we need, obviously, more resources to meet the demand of the population growth that we're experiencing. And
so the question gets down to the taxpayer. Do y'all want this? If you do, let's go double your price, double your taxes.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's what it's going to take.
That's what it's going to take.
Double from where it is now. So
and that's what we don't
you want this.
And so, here we are. But here, the city is requesting, and the water department has requested that we're not going to pay for this if these developers won't come. So they have to pay a lot of that infrastructure cost up front. So that's one thing that the water department has fought for the citizens and the payers of the water there is, hey, we don't want to go up on our customers. So if you want to build this, then you have to go up front on it. And they just recently did that. And
okay, Bo, could you say this? All right, if you want to do this, then you're going to have to widen Jennings Lane and build us a bypass all the way over where all this traffic's going to go.
I've seen it done on smaller scale. I
mean, can it happen?
Something's got to be done. Something has to be done because, you just can't fit. You can only fit so much in an area that's not ready for it.
Hey, Connie. Yeah, they cut city taxes about that much.
We'll take all we can get.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But it is a cut.
That's right.
And the city is pretty good financially for the most part, but to get caught up from 30 years of lag, it's going to take a whole lot of money coming from somewhere.
Well, it's going to take, the private industry. If we could be the number one employer, if of the county, it would help. You would get so many more. But I know that is not a reality at the moment.
Here's another theory. We build those rooftops, that's more tax revenue. Well, it's the chicken or the egg at the point we are now. We're so far behind on infrastructure, we'll never get caught up.
It's a strain. And then you've got maintenance of the existing. That's hardly mentioned, but it was John Freeman mentioned. It's just everything to handle the existing that we have, and that's what he's got. This is the tools you got to play. John, go for it. And this is what he's got. And let me tell you, he's handling it like no other.
Yeah.
But it isn't cheap. And it's going to cost, and these things got to be replaced. And we've got pumps, and we've got a wonderful flume system, that people just don't understand how much protects Shelbyville from flooding. But those pumps go out.
But the pumps aren't the biggest issue now. We got that kind of taken care of. The big issue now is the actual other parts of the flume that hadn't been patched up.
That's right. There's been parts that have erupted or broken, and they have fixed those. But then there's other ones that are lacking. But hey, let's talk about the flume area. It's been a little bit cleaned up. I've noticed a little bit down there, and I'd just like to thank Shelbyville Police Department for doing their part. And I've seen some patrol in that area, but just a little side there.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about close to the flume.
Well, Bo, there's no clear-cut answer on this. I think if everybody just uses common sense and everybody give the input, police department, fire department, public works,
no more closed lips. We have to know. We have to throw it all out.
Throw it out there on the table.
Because we're getting to a point to where it's
I can't
put up or shut up.
If you just tell the facts, and if somebody wants to label you as anti-growth, how about just say, well, anti-growth, but not anti-growth, just common sense.
Well,
we got to do common sense.
You're there, common sense, to do a job. What's best for the city, and when the decision comes, who knows what it'll be? I have no idea.
I'm gonna argue with you on that. People in the city have deep pockets, and they don't want anyone in them. Drive around town and just look. Most of your wealthier people in Bedford County live in the county. There's not a lot of money in the city. As a matter of fact, if you look at the demographics say that the city median income is about $18,000 to $19,000 less than the median income in the county. So there's not a lot. Now there's a lot of rentals. Okay. There's some landlords, but they're paying their property taxes.
Yep.
And I don't know. There's a lot of people living 3 families in a house. Yep. I know of a neighborhood right now. You can't even drive around the circle because there's people parked in the streets because the driveways are full.
And they're probably going through their own life. You can't blame them, but
they're just doing what they can do.
They're doing what they can do. So, but
it's difficult.
It's difficult all the way around, but it's something we've got to face, and we've got to use some common sense. Like you said, we've got to use some common sense, and we've got to have healthy discussions, and it's okay to disagree every now and then. Remember, it's good. Sometimes you get people upset, but they kind of get over it. They either have to or they don't. And that's the way I have to look at it. I want to make the best decision for Shelbyville.
All right, Bo, before we finish up here, let's hear another word from our sponsors, Dennis Young Insurance and Lowry Jewelers. We'll be right back right after this.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
We want to thank our sponsors once again, Lowry Jewelers out on North Main Street and Dennis Young Insurance on Madison Street for all your insurance needs. And the Lowry Jewelers, as you saw, has a great sale taking place right now. Go out there and give them a visit. These 2 businesses are longtime businesses in Shelbyville, and we appreciate them.
Yes, we do.
Well, Bo,
very much so.
We've run a little over tonight, but I think this is some good discussion, and it's going to continue.
Yes, it will.
I know there's a lot of other things that are going to be coming up. A lot of people have been pointing at me and saying you're anti-growth. No, I just view growth different. I think growth is all types of increase, not just people.
Right.
I mean, we got more people than we understand we've got.
Well,
We need the first stat that I put up, that top 10 list. We need more industry. We need more, we need a bigger workforce that will we need the people we have here working. Okay.
If your pocket gets bigger because of head growth and head count coming to town, then I think that's kind of a biased opinion. I think that's okay because that's what you do, and you might think that it's anti-growth, but really we're just speaking the facts of what really is happening here. And I could see where that could come off a little bit, a little bit rubbing the wrong way. But look, you have to take care of yourself. I understand that, but you have to know what's best for Shelbyville, and that's.
I tell you what you do, Bo. You go ask the mayor of Rutherford County from 15 years ago. Ask him if he wishes they had done something different about their plan.
They're still.
I know him. He's my cousin. He said we really blew it.
Yeah, we blew it, and they're still catching up. They're gonna always be catching.
They're
up.
so messed up with all this high density stuff piled in on top of each other. They have traffic issues. They have infrastructure issues, and I don't want to see us do the same thing. I know we're not going to turn into Murfreesboro. We're just not there. We don't have the demographics to be them. We can't be Franklin. We can't be Brentwood. That's different demographics altogether. But I would like to see our economic situation increase.
Yes, I would too.
I think that to me, that's growth.
That is growth. When our economic situation,
everybody's quality of life increases,
and you're seeing more home ownership. You're seeing more people with jobs. You're seeing maybe new businesses opening up, and we're seeing a lot of those here. But they're struggling right now. They're struggling.
Vacant apartments are a good thing if you're really growing properly.
That's right. And they'll get filled. But you really. I don't know.
My point is those homeowners are moving out of apartments, buying homes.
That's right. And that is a good thing, and renters understand that because that's what happens.
All right, guys, thanks for watching tonight.
Yep.
We got a couple more comments. Donna Smith, your new upgrade seems to be working well. Donna, we've got some high definition, I hope.
We will have the powder.
Mike Clinton, what is the answer on infrastructure? Who pays for infrastructure? Mike, they're coming for us, buddy. All right, Connie, bigger houses
we're all
being
in it
built and
together.
more people coming in. They will demand more to be done. Shopping and better eating places. Private investors do that, not the government.
That's right.
If the money's there, they'll show up.
That's right.
You look at what we got now.
We got people here.
We've got $12 general stores. There you go.
That's it. We got people. That shows us that we're tight with our money around here. Is that what it tells us?
No, it shows me that we're in an area of low income.
Well,
and we've got to raise that.
Yeah, we do.
And the people that are coming in, I would like to see them own a larger piece of land and build a high quality home. That's an indication of growth.
And it'll make you feel better. It's success. It's the American dream, really. Buy into it. Let's all do this together.
Yep. If somebody wants a restaurant, go do one. If you want a certain kind of store, check into it. Invest your money and do it. But the government can't do it.
Get a house built, invest in a local builder.
All right, guys, thanks for watching tonight. We'll be back again with more topics that you want to talk about. Please let us know. And also, we did a photo contest, Bo.
Yes.
I took a picture at a place that I thought this will be tough to guess. Man, 200 people guessed it just like that.
You're going to have to go to a cave or an
office
spot. You're going to have to go off road or something.
So if you hadn't gone in major entry, everybody knows the answer to that. Just go ahead and sign up. We're going to have a drawing Wednesday. So
get a chance to win
there'll be a prize. So you guys get in on that. This is a freebie. It's an easy one. So
yeah, the next one's really hard. He's going off the trail on this one, off the road.
But guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back again the same time next week.